The Pacific Ocean is now the epicenter of a new great game. The U.S.-Philippine relationship is at the heart of this contest. Once overlooked, the Philippines is now a critical pivot point, its geography indispensable. The world's eyes are on the South China Sea and Taiwan, with the Philippines a key player. America's renewed military presence marks a strategic shift: boots on the ground, strong alliances. China's rapid military rise has redrawn Asia's security map. The Philippines is caught between a historic ally and a powerful neighbor, defending its sovereignty. The security of the Indo-Pacific and the global balance of power may be decided here. The U.S.-Philippine relationship is rooted in a complex, shared history. It began with the Spanish-American War, leading to U.S. colonial rule and a legacy of both familiarity and resentment. World War II forged a powerful bond as Filipino and American soldiers fought side by side. After independence in 1946, the U.S. maintained major military bases, projecting power throughout the Cold War. But by the early 1990s, Filipino nationalism and the eruption of Mount Pinatubo led to the closure of these bases. The alliance seemed to fade as the Philippines sought independence in foreign policy and the U.S. looked elsewhere. This strategic vacuum didn't last. As America's attention drifted, China's ambitions grew. In 1995, China occupied Mischief Reef within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, a wake-up call for Manila. The vulnerability was clear. Without its U.S. ally, the Philippines faced new threats to its sovereignty. The necessity of a security partner became undeniable. The departure of U.S. forces had opened the door for China's assertiveness. This set the stage for America's eventual return. The alliance, shaped by history, is now driven by urgent strategic realities. Today, the partnership is being redefined to meet new challenges. The past informs the present, but the future depends on how both nations adapt. The U.S.-Philippine alliance is once again at the center of Asia's security landscape. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, is the backbone of the renewed U.S.-Philippine partnership. Signed in 2014, EDCA isn't about permanent U.S. bases. It's about flexible access to Philippine military sites. U.S. forces can rotate, pre-position equipment, and build facilities, all while respecting Philippine sovereignty. In 2023, 4 new EDCA sites were added, bringing the total to 9. 3 are in the north, near Taiwan, transforming the region into a critical staging area for any Taiwan contingency. The 4th, on Balabac Island, faces the South China Sea, enhancing monitoring and response to Chinese activities. These sites are a calculated response to the region's 2 biggest threats, a Taiwan conflict and China's expansionism. For the Philippines, EDCA brings tangible benefits, modernizing its military and infrastructure. Joint training with U.S. forces boosts Filipino capabilities. Pre-positioned U.S. assets also improve disaster response in a country prone to natural calamities. EDCA is a partnership for security, modernization, and deterrence. It's a modern solution for modern threats. The agreement strengthens both nations' ability to respond to crises. It sends a clear message: the U.S. and the Philippines are prepared to defend their interests. EDCA is more than a military arrangement. It's a strategic lifeline. The alliance is evolving, ready for the challenges ahead. China's sweeping claims in the South China Sea are the main source of regional tension. Its 9-dash line overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of several Southeast Asian nations, including the Philippines. Despite a 2016 international tribunal ruling against its claims, China has built and militarized artificial islands in the Spratlys. These outposts now host runways, ports, and missile systems, projecting Chinese power deep into Southeast Asia. China's Coast Guard and maritime militia harass Filipino fishermen and vessels, using gray zone tactics to assert control without open conflict. This slow, relentless campaign aims to establish de facto control and intimidate rivals. For Beijing, the South China Sea is a strategic artery for trade and a bastion for its nuclear submarines. Control here means economic leverage and military security. China's goal: push out the U.S. Navy and become the region's undisputed power. The stakes are about sovereignty, resources, and the future of Asia's security order. Taiwan is the region's most dangerous flashpoint. China sees the island as a breakaway province and has ramped up military pressure, with near-daily incursions around Taiwan. The Philippines' northern islands are less than 100 miles from Taiwan, making them strategically vital. The Luzon Strait is a key naval choke point. Control here is crucial for both China and the U.S. expanded EDCA sites in northern Philippines, could host U.S. forces supporting operations in any Taiwan crisis. These bases would allow rapid response and complicate China's military planning. U.S. presence in the Philippines acts as a deterrent, raising the risks for Beijing. Manila, though not formally committed to Taiwan's defense, would be drawn into any conflict due to geography and alliance obligations. A war over Taiwan would devastate the region and force the Philippines into the front lines. The government's strategy: strengthen deterrence to prevent war from reaching its shores. By hosting U.S. forces, Manila is betting on peace through strength. The stakes for the Philippines are existential. Its choices now could shape the fate of the entire region. China has responded to the U.S.-Philippine alliance with sharp rhetoric and escalating pressure. Beijing accuses Manila of stoking tensions and acting as a U.S. pawn, aiming to stir domestic opposition. On the water, Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels have intensified blockades and harassment, especially around Second Thomas Shoal. These gray zone tactics are designed to intimidate without triggering open conflict or U.S. intervention. Economically, China uses subtle coercion, delaying Philippine exports and warning tourists, to signal that closer U.S. ties come at a cost. Manila faces a tough choice: security with the U.S. or economic benefits from China. Beijing's goal is to make the alliance too costly for the Philippines to maintain. The pressure is relentless, testing the durability of the partnership. The U.S.-Philippine alliance is now a test case for American resolve in Asia. The outcome will shape the region's future balance of power. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty is the legal bedrock of the U.S.-Philippine alliance. It commits both nations to respond to armed attacks in the Pacific, but its scope was long debated. Recently, the U.S. clarified the treaty covers attacks on Philippine forces anywhere in the South China Sea. This ironclad commitment is a powerful deterrent, warning China that aggression could trigger a U.S. response. EDICA makes this promise credible, allowing U.S. forces to be present and ready in the Philippines. U.S. troops on Philippine soil act as a tripwire. An attack on one is an attack on both. This intertwining of forces makes their security inseparable. For the Philippines, it's a vital backstop. For the U.S., a reliable partner in a critical region. The treaties are more than paper. They're the foundation of regional stability. Together, they form a counterweight to China's ambitions. The alliance is built to endure, adapt, and deter. The alliance is more than treaties. It's about building a real, integrated fighting force. Joint exercises like Balikatan have grown into massive displays of combined power, with thousands of troops practicing amphibious landings and coastal defense. These drills build interoperability, ensuring U.S. and Philippine forces can fight together seamlessly. Standardized procedures and shared tactics turn two militaries into one effective team. The exercises also send a message to Beijing. The allies are ready and capable of defending Philippine sovereignty. New weapons and technology are showcased, demonstrating the ability to contest control of the seas and skies. For the Philippines, training with the U.S. accelerates military modernization. The armed forces of the Philippines gain experience and identify capability gaps. U.S. technical assistance helps guide modernization priorities. The transformation is essential for external defense. These drills are armed diplomacy, showing resolve without firing a shot. The alliance is becoming a credible deterrent force. As of September 6, 2025, the Indo-Pacific is on a knife's edge. The U.S.-China rivalry has thrust the Philippines into the center of regional competition. The revitalized alliance deters Chinese aggression but raises the risk of the Philippines becoming a battleground. Success depends on diplomatic skill and strategic foresight in Manila and Washington. One future deterrence holds, and China is dissuaded from military action by the strength of U.S.-led alliances. Another, a miscalculation or crisis, spirals into war, with the Philippines on the front lines. EDCA sites could become targets, and the region would face catastrophic consequences. The outcome depends on political will, alliance cohesion, and the ability to manage daily friction. The U.S.-Philippine alliance has been reborn out of necessity. Its success or failure will shape Philippine sovereignty and the global power structure. The stakes are nothing less than the future of peace in the Pacific. The choices made now will echo for decades. The world is watching.